Hi everyone, and welcome to another video of Terraform. My name is Tia from DevOps Easy Learning. Today we'll be going through Terraform map variable, right? Now, let me just click on this little logo here, and this is going to take me to my GitHub repository where I basically have one example here that we'll be using. And I will also make sure that I put a link in the description below in case you want to go ahead and follow the same step. You can go ahead and kind of clone the repository or copy the code from GitHub and use it on your own local, right? And just go ahead and follow the same steps. I don't kind of like to read the code here through GitHub console. And what I'm going to do is this. I will just copy this path and I will go to my local. And so far here, I basically clone the repository already, and I have that repository local. I'm going to move to code here, and that's the root of that repository. And I will cd it to this path where I have the code that we are going to use for hands-on. If you type ls here, you guys will see I have the main.tf. I can go ahead and type code here in this location and open that main.tf where we kind of define the map variable, right? Now, here, what is this code doing? We basically define our Terraform block here, and we define the provider that we will be deploying this in AWS, and also the region will be US East 1. Now, we can define a map variable, right? You guys know that we have a map is always, we have something called a key, a key, that we have a key value pair. This is the key and this is the value. This is the key, this is the value, this is the key, and this is the value. We basically define a map here that will kind of hold everything that we want. Now, where we kind of define the AMI ID that we're going to use, the instance type, the key name, the VPC, this VPC security group ID, the subnet ID, and also the volume side. That means what will be the root volume of this EC2 instance. We basically define that, and everything here, we call this one a map of strength. As you guys can see here, this is the key, all the value here are string, right? As we have double quote here. That is why we call this one a map of string. We can have other map type, map of any. If you put map of any here, which means you can define a list. You can define a list. You can have a number. You can have a string and so on. But this one, we basically put a map of string, which means all value here must be a string. If you put map of string here and you put any value here that is not a string, let's say here you define a list. You define a list to put the VPC security group. This is not going to work when you are going to trigger Terraform. Why? Because of this little condition. If you put it like this and you go ahead and add another VPC security group, as you can attach multiple security group to an EC2 instance, this is not going to work because of what you put here, map of string. If you want to kind of use also a list here, you might be using a map of any. A map of any. This means in here you can kind of define something like a string, like maybe you can kind of define a list. You can also even define another thing in there. You can define numbers. You can define a Boolean value. You can also go ahead and define a string, right? But if you use the map of string just like this, I avoid defining, make sure that everything here, based on my own personal experience, it is what? It is a string. Now, here we have a tag. Tag are just like a common tag that we want to use, where we just use the create by Terraform, and also the name of the VM will just go ahead and be VM. Now, how can we get all this value here within the map to deploy this EC2 instance? It is really, really simple. When you define the map, as you guys can see here, how am I going to get the instance AMI? I will just go ahead and say var, because this is a variable, say var dot instance underscore config, which is, we call this thing here instance underscore config within the map. Why we kind of give, let's see, instance, oh yeah, right here, instance underscore config, which is var.instance underscore config. What are we going to get into this map? We want to get the AMI right here. var.instance underscore config, we are looking for the AMI. Next, instance type, if the same thing apply, var instance underscore config, we want to get the instance type, and the same thing will apply for others. As you guys can see now, the VPC security group, the same thing. The VPC security group here, as you guys can see, we define this as a list. You need to be very, very careful while defining the VPC security group. The VPC security group, as you guys can see here, IDs with S, mean we can have multiple, or we can attach multiple security group to an EC2 instance. And that is why you guys will see that we are going to define that as a list. And in here, this basically allow us to put multiple security group IDs, because I can put a comma here, and I can also, if you have another security group, I can go ahead and define it right here. Or another ID that I want to punch in, I can go ahead and do so. Right? I will go ahead and remove this, because right now we just need one. Now, also, a root device. The same thing apply. We just go ahead here. We'll say var.instance underscore config, and we can go ahead here and get this. This will get 10 here, and it's going to block 10 here. The tag here, when we want to kind of get all the default tag, that is just, we say var.tags. var.tags, you go ahead and grab all the tag and put it here. And down the line, we are, if you guys are interested, please let me know, and I will go ahead and kind of show you guys how you can go ahead and kind of manipulate this instance name using something here called format. I mean, you merge tag, right? Using tag, really, you merge your tag, and this will kind of help you to customize your resource name, right? If you guys are interested, please let me know in the comment below, and I will go ahead and kind of shoot a video where I will go ahead and merge tag, use format and merge tag, and give a custom name to my EC2 instance. Because what happens here is that if this is a module, this is not going to work everywhere, right? Because I might want to deploy my EC2 instance, but I want to change this name and call this name bash and host. But here it was hard coded to be VM. How am I going to do that? That's not going to work. You need to give user the privilege to go ahead, like change, manipulate the instance name if he wants to change that. If you hard code this, which means every time that somebody will run this module, the VM name, the instance name will always be VM, right? Which is not good. And that is why if you really want to know how to do that, please let me know in the comment below, and I'll go ahead and create another video where I will show you guys how to go ahead and handle this name efficiently so that a user can change this as if he wants, right? Let us go ahead and I'm not going to save any change here. Don't save. I'll go ahead and kind of move where we have this. Let us type our Terraform init and initialize this. It will download the provider. We'll go ahead and type Terraform plan and Terraform apply to see if you can create a resource in AWS. And when that is done, we'll go ahead and destroy it. Terraform apply. I know exactly what it's going to do. That's why I'm not going to run the plan. And right now, it's just going to create one instance, which is cool. I'll go ahead and fire that up. And if we check in AWS console, we'll see that one EC2 instance is basically coming up with a name called VM. As you guys can see, it is pending, and it is a T2 micro. And if you click on this, if you hook over to tag, you guys will see that it basically grab all the tag and punch it in here. And the name, like as I mentioned, it is called VM, right? And let's say tomorrow, this was a module. Somebody wants to change this name. How are you going to change that? That is the question, right? Because this was hard-coded in the Terraform code. That won't be possible, right? Let us go ahead here and just say Terraform destroy. I'm not going to use any variable file because we don't have one. And please, every time that you launch something using Terraform, just make sure that at the end, you go ahead and destroy that so that you won't get charged by AWS, right? And I hope this video was really informative. Please let me know in the comment below. And that's it. Bye-bye.